Hey, Matt Theriault here, CEO of Epic Real Estate, where we show people how to invest in real estate with an emphasis on retiring early. And if you'd like some help with that, you can find a link below on how to get some, alrighty? Now, what I want to share with you today is my response to the two big questions that came from my previous video about how to achieve financial freedom in a much faster way. And if you'd like to take a look at that video first, there's a link for it down below in the comments section. It'll give you some context around these two questions that we're going to address right now. So the first question was around the math of how I came to my conclusion of the faster way to financial freedom. And the second question was around where do you find the money to buy the real estate in the manner that I described? So both really great questions, both with really easy answers. So I'm going to show you how to find the money in just a second, because there are boatloads of it out there and it's really easy to get your hands on it, and it's probably very different though than what you may be thinking, so stick around for that. All right, so let's start with question number one though, the math. Kudos to you who caught it, because I did make a mistake. I actually caught the mistake the very second that I got that video back from the editor. It made me cringe a little bit, but so much had gone into making that video, I just couldn't bring myself to just throw it away. I couldn't scrap it, so I released it anyway. Even though there was an error in the math, it doesn't change the answer to the question. So in that video, we were using this little house here as an example, this nice orange house, and the two different scenarios. We can flip this house on our way to financial freedom, or we could hold this house. Which one is going to get us there faster? That was the big question. So if we're going to just kind of look at this property, and this is kind of a basic scenario that Mercedes and we experience on a daily basis. Do we want to flip this house and make $30K of cash, or do we want to hold on to it and make $300 a month? So I don't know, just kind of look at that. Which one would you choose? Well, most people will take the $30,000 because it's a lot of money, right? $300 a month, not a big deal, doesn't change a lot in most people's lives. But here's the issue, is that they're taking the $30,000 most of the time, but they're comparing apples to oranges. We got to convert these both to apples or both to oranges for us to make a real solid educated decision. So $30,000, $300 a month. So we have cash and we have cash flow. That's where the apples and the oranges come from. So how much cash would it take to create $300 a month? Well, the answer to that is it's going to take $72,000 of cash. So now we've got our apples. We're comparing apples to apples. So which one is better? Which one's greater, right? $72,000 or $30,000? Well, obviously now $72,000 is a much bigger number. Well, if we're going to convert these both to oranges, so to speak, and we're going to take the cash flow, how much cash flow would $30,000 generate? Well, in the example, I used 5%, the interest rate, because I use that number because that's a really safe number that financial planners like to use in their presentations with their clients, of where you could put your money today, or put your money away today in a nice, safe, conservative environment to where you could expect a residual income pretty much indefinitely of 5%. So that's the number I chose. Okay, so $30,000 in a 5% account of some sort would generate you $125. Oops, $125 a month. So now we got the oranges to oranges. So do you want the $125 a month, or do you want the $300 a month, right? So the whole scenario kind of wins in both, whether you're comparing the apples to apples or the oranges to oranges. So here we're ramping up to where the math went wrong. Which one, flipping or holding, is going to get you to financial freedom the fastest? Well, we first kind of have to decide or define what financial freedom is. And in the example of that video, I used $5K a month. And I picked that number because that is just about the median household income in America, and $5,000 a month would set a lot of people financially free. So I just used that number. So how many houses do we have to hold to get that number? How many houses do we have to flip to get that number? Well, to hold them, we need to do 17 houses. And to flip, we'll have to get $125, that comes out to 40 houses. So you can see right now, the 17 houses, doing those 17 deals looks a lot better than doing the 40 deals, right? So how long would that take? So if you were to do, say, 1 deal a month, and it's going to work whether you do 2 deals a month, 3 deals a month, 4 deals a month, just all math being equal. If we did 1 deal a month, bought 1 house to buy and hold a month, that's going to be 1.5 years. You are financially free in 1.5 years. Imagine that. Most people in this country are failing to do that in 40 years of working and toiling and going to the job each and every day and saving their money and making these sacrifices, trying to save up for retirement. But doing it this way, you can do it 1.5 years. So if you're going to flip properties, that would take 3 1/3 years. And this is where the math went wrong. In that example, I wrote the number 6. My bad. It's 3 1/3 years. I don't even know what was going on through my head. Actually, I have an idea of what was going on through my head, and I'll explain to you in a second. But what I want you to see right here, it doesn't change my point at all. Holding houses is still a faster path to financial freedom than flipping them. Now, here's the big deal. And I think this is where the 6 came from. I've given this example so many times, and I think it was just kind of stuck in my head because I kind of knew the punchline and I revealed it too soon. If you're going to be making $30,000 a flip, keep in mind you can't spend all of that or any of it. You have to take that $30,000 and keep putting it in that account until it amounts to enough to generate your $5,000 a month. Okay? So let's say you need money to live on. We need money to live on. So we're going to use $15,000 to live on, and then we're going to take $15,000 to save. So what that effectively does is it takes this 40 and it turns it into 80 deals. So now you got to do 80 of these flips versus 17. So that comes out to, it takes this down from 3 1/3 basically to 6 years, 6 2/3 years. And I think that's where my 6 came from. So there's the mistake in my math. So you can see, with or without my error, holding houses is still a much faster path to financial freedom than it is flipping them. So if that makes sense to you, go ahead and just kind of smash the like button for me so that I know we're good to go there. Now, with regard to the money, where do you find the money to buy all of these houses if you're going to buy and hold them, right? In the event, we're on the same page and you've seen the light around holding houses versus flipping them and you want to do it, where do you find the money? And doing it without, dealing with banks or begging friends and family for the money. Well, I've got 9 different ways for you, okay? So let's go ahead and we'll run down that line or that list. So take note of them all so you can take advantage of the ones that are going to work for you the best. So the first place is an FHA loan. Now, I know I said without dealing with banks, but this is pretty easy, and darn near anybody with a job can qualify for an FHA loan, meaning you don't need an extraordinary credit score and you don't need a big down payment. Like 3%, that's going to get you into your first property. And that's a really great way to get your first one under your belt. Second, cash flow. Yeah, now that you've got your first property, resist spending that monthly cash flow that you're receiving and save it for the down payment of your next investment property. Now, it might take a bit for it to amount up to what you need. I get that. But once it does, and you get that second one, the third's going to come faster because now you're receiving cash flow from 2 properties. And then the fourth is going to come even faster, and the fifth even faster than that. Not to mention, you may at that point have some equity from those first 2 to tap into to buy the 6th and the 7th and the 8th and so on. It starts out a little slow this way, but it snowballs and moves faster and faster the further along you get. All right? That's number 2. Number 3, negotiate. Now, it's not literal money, but negotiating the price of your property can reduce the amount of money that you need to find. So don't underestimate that. 4th, sell something. Do you have anything of value laying around that you could sell? Like a jet ski or a boat you haven't used in a while that maybe you're even still making payments on. And collectibles maybe. Gold, silver, anything of value. Stuff like this can really help you with your down payments. So, I know your stuff might have some value to you, but this is your financial freedom we're talking about, right? What value do you place on that? And besides, once you're financially free, you can always just go buy all that stuff back. It's just stuff. And not to mention, you're going to have probably a lot more time to enjoy it then as well. All right? 5th, equity line of credit. Do you own any real estate currently that you could draw funds from via an equity line of credit or a refinance? Even if it's your primary residence, because if you do, consider it, because it's sitting there doing nothing while it could be working to create your freedom. You don't want to retire your money from work before you retire yourself, right? How is that fair? Your money taking it easy while you still go to work every day? Consider it. 6th, The seller. Look for sellers that are willing to hold a loan for you, that will seller finance. There are more out there than you think that are willing to do this. I mean, just go search the real estate sections of online classified websites search for seller carryback, owner will carry, or seller financing, and you're gonna get results. You'll see those opportunities. And if you don't, or you wanna find even more of those opportunities, make offers on properties asking for seller financing. I use a website like PropStream to locate properties owned free and clear, and then I go make seller financed offers to those sellers. It works, but you gotta ask for it. And I put a link for PropStream in the comments for you below as well, so you can go find these free and clear properties that you can make offers on in your areas. All right? 7th, Epic Fast Funding. Now, it's an internal connection that I have here at Epic that can get you up to $250,000 at 0% interest to use however you want, even to buy real estate. So to get an instant response, and I mean instant, and without talking to anybody or giving up your social security number, I'll put a link for you below so you can go do that. Alrighty, so now I've got 2 more sources for you, 2 more money sources, but if you haven't already, click the subscribe button as I post cool stuff like this each and every week, and I'd hate for you to miss that one little nugget that would set you financially free. Alrighty, 8th, newprivatemoney.com. It's kind of like lendingtree.com, but for investors, and it's really simple. You just fill out their form, and then lenders, they compete to fund your next real estate investment. The grass is truly greener on the other side of that form. The private lenders there that will be competing for your attention, they consist of family offices, crowdfunding platforms, hard money companies, hedge funds, and investors even in your local area. And you can find a link for them below too. Alrighty? So the 9th way, epicfundingsolutions.com. Over there, they've got 100 plus lenders looking for people with ambitions just like yours. They've got 10,000 plus loan programs for all 50 states, all types of deals on all credit profiles. And on their website, they provide you with an instant proof of funds letter even to give you really strong credibility when you're making offers on your investment properties. And that's instant and it's free. Good people over there ready to help you. Alrighty, so if you liked what you heard today, there's a good chance you know somebody else that might like it as well. So feel free to share this video with them. That's it for today. I will see you next time. Take care.